Good morning, friends. Today we learn about a payment. Let me introduce myself. Myself, Professor Ashutosh K. Patel. After completing this unit, you will be able to differentiate between rigid payment and flexible payment. You will be able to draw and understand various layers of flexible as well as rigid payment. You will be able to identify about which tests to be conducted for soil subgrade incorporating flexible or rigid payment. Now, what is the payment? A payment is a multi-layer system that distributes the vehicle loads over a large area. Look at the animation in the slide. The, as the tire of the vehicle distribute the load among the various layers in a triangular manner. A pavement is a structure consisting of a superimposed layers of selected and processed materials whose primary function is to distribute the applied vehicle load to the subgrade. Or it is a structure which separates the tires of the vehicle from the underlying foundation. A pavement is the upper part of a roadway, airport or parking area structure. It includes all layers resting on the original ground. It consists of all structural elements or layers including shoulders. The function of the pavement to reduce and distribute the traffic loading so as not to damage the subgrade. It provides vehicle access between 2 points under all weather conditions. It provides smooth, safe and comfortable ride to the road user without undue delays and excessive wear and tear. It meets environmental and aesthetic requirements. It limits noise and air pollution, which is the present day demand, and reasonably economical. The requirement of a pavement structure, the sufficient thickness to spread loading to a pressure intensity tolerable by subgrade, sufficiently strong to carry imposed stress due to traffic load, sufficient thickness to prevent the effect of frost susceptible subgrade. Pavement material should not be non-frost susceptible. Pavement surface should be skid resistance. Now, classification of the payment. The classification, there are two types of the classification of the payment. One is based on a function and other is based on a structure. The classification by function, it includes airport payments, highway and freeway payments, parking and street payments. And the classification by structure includes rigid payment, that is cement concrete payment, flexible payment, that is bituminous concrete payment, composite payments, and gravel payments or unpaved roads. Flexible payment. Let us understand various layers of the flexible payment. It includes natural soil, that is a subgrade, above which aggregate subbase course and aggregate base course, and on the top it is a bituminous concrete layer, that is a wearing course. Rigid payments. The various layers of the rigid pavements are subgrade, base course and surface course, in which the subbase course and base course are optional. Pavement comparison. The flexible pavements requires deep foundations and multi-layer construction. Energy consumption due to transportation of material. Increasing cost of bitumen due to high oil price. A rigid pavement. Single layer construction. Generally, it lasts longer than a flexible pavement. It may require asphalt topping due to noise comfort. Then heavy vehicle consumes less fuel on rigid pavement. Just look at the animation provided in the slide. As it is a flexible, the heavy vehicle consumes more fuel on rigid pavements. Less fuel on rigid pavements. Rigid payments are more economical when considering environmental and life cycle costing. Flexible payment. A flexible payment is a structure that maintains intimate contact with and distributes load to the subgrade and depends on aggregate interlock, particle friction and cohesion for stability. It is a structure which distributes the traffic loading stress to the soil at a magnitude that will not shear or distort the soil. Various layers of the flexible pavement. Flexible pavement is elastic in nature and there are three main layers, that is surface cores, road base and sub base, and surfacing cores includes wearing cores and base cores, and all these three layers are supported by a subgrade that is a natural soil. Uh, each In flexible pavement, each layer receives the load from the above layer, spreads them out, then passes on these loads to the next layer below. Thus, the further down in the pavement structure a particular layer is, the less load it must carry. Load distribution in flexible pavement. Just look at the figure and you can understand the load distribution is divided into various layers. Structure of a flexible pavement. In order to take maximum advantage of this property, material layers are usually arranged in order of descending load bearing capacity, with the highest load bearing capacity material on the top and the lowest load bearing capacity material at the bottom. Structure of the flexible pavement. It includes surface cores. The surface cores is a layer in contact with the traffic loads and normally contains the highest quality materials. It provides characteristics such as friction, smoothness, noise control, rut, and showing resistance and drainage. Base cores. This is the layer directly below the surface cores and generally consists of aggregates. Subbase course. This is the layer under the base layer. A subbase is not always needed. Subgrade course. The subgrade is the material upon which the pavement structure is placed. Although there is a tendency to look at the pavement performance in terms of a pavement structure and mix design alone, the subgrade can often be the overriding factor in the pavement performance. Now, types of a flexible pavement. It includes dense graded, open graded, and gap graded. Let us look at the flexible pavement construction. The figure shows the various machineries, paver, everything you can show in the figure.